So Joseph Parker scores a third round stoppage over Alexander Flores. He wins and wins decisively like we thought he would. It is his first stoppage in over 2 years. Funnily enough, the last time he got a stoppage was also in the third round. It was also against a guy called Alexander Dmytrenko, as you remember. And to make it even more of a coincidence, even that one had a bit of a controversial ending when Dmytrenko was hit on the side of the body from a frustrated Parker when he'd already chosen to go to the deck. This time, Flores was floored after getting hit a little bit low. His pants were already below the belly button and Parker was digging them on the belt line just below. So a bit of an odd coincidence there. But the main thing to take away, nobody's going to remember those details. The main thing to take away is Parker looked more assertive, more down and dirty than we've seen him before. He showed more wherewithal on the inside. He seemed to be fighting to a bit more of a plan. There was more consistency with the way he was fighting. Yes, it wasn't against the best opponent, but this time he was using his jab to go forward, which is in his interests as a guy with not the greatest reach. We've seen Parker before against guys who are around his stature or slightly smaller, try and be the fancy Dan and move around, and sometimes it can look okay, but you can see it doesn't suit his stature as a fighter. It's better when he's stabbing the jab and moving in and using those shorter arms and speed to try and get the better of you. There were some defensive lapses again, as we've seen in the past. Sometimes he was a bit straight. Flores caught him with a good cross at one point when he had his back to the ropes, and you could kind of see Parker thinking probably I shouldn't have got hit by that, but generally he was getting closer and he was doing the things tactically that suits his style, his body type a bit more. So that was good to see. Not too much glove touching. Yeah, initial apologies for the first low blow, but it's like, come on, let's try and get a bit of spite to the performance, and that's what he did. So it's onwards and upwards, isn't it, ultimately? And a good way to end the year after back-to-back losses. Now, Barry says the plan is to get the belt back, or a belt back. I'm not sure how that's going to work. We know that the only guys who have got the big belts are Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Those two guys. Tyson Fury has the lineal title, but that's another matter, isn't it? And all those three top guys are all kind of involved at the moment. I very much think we're going to see Wilder, Fury next, and Joshua, he's still looking at he's going to fight April. So those guys really, in terms of a belt, they're far away. I don't think we'll ever see a rematch against Anthony Joshua because the first fight was just too much a bit of a dud. Nobody's going to want to see that again. So hard to see from where things stand where this belt's going to come from. I think the best option for Parker now is to fight probably again in New Zealand against another okay guy, maybe a few spots higher, and then maybe the loser of the upcoming Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora rematch. That strikes me as the best thing to do. He could possibly fight the winner. He could get that rematch against Dillian Whyte, which I think is the most obvious immediate goal for him. But if Whyte were to win, would he want to give Parker a rematch? It's hard to see. Would he have to? He doesn't have to do that. So difficult to see where he goes next, but it's good to see a more spiteful Parker. Let's see him do that to a bit of a better opponent. Try and really refine this style of his that's all been confused. He's still young enough to do it. And yeah, not bad.